Hi again, Risa here with another episode of Ask Risa. I want to talk about photography today, and it probably will take me more than 1 week to cover everything I want to say about photography. I try to keep these videos to 5 minutes or less, and I have a lot to say about photography. So the first thing I want to say is that it's so easy these days to research photographers. Thanks to the magic of Instagram, you have millions of portfolios at your disposal. I mean, obviously you probably want to try to hire a photographer that's in your area. A lot of photographers will travel. A lot of photographers like to say they, have passport, will travel, but it's going to be more expensive for you to hire a photographer who's based in France when you live in California than it would be to just hire a photographer who's in California, preferably in your area of California. But Instagram does make it super easy to look at portfolios and check out styles. Every photographer has their own style. They have a shooting style and they have an editing style. Everybody has a different eye. So some photographers shoot really light, bright, airy images, and others are more into the rich colors and very saturated, high contrast images, lots of shadows and light interplaying with one another. So you kind of just want to browse through some profiles and see what kind of photos speak to you, see what resonates with you. If you really love the light, bright, airy style, you probably don't want to hire a photographer who doesn't shoot in that style. Most photographers can probably edit their photos to match another style, but why would you want that? Just hire a photographer who specializes in the look that you're going for. The other thing to think about is sort of the way that photographers shoot. Some photographers bill themselves as photojournalists. They are basically there to capture the day as it unfolds. They want to tell the story of your wedding day. So they're all over the place. They're lurking, in the corner to capture those candid shots, and they're constantly looking around to see what's going on. They want to make sure that if something funny happens or something sweet, that they capture that moment. Other photographers do more portrait style. They might even have lighting setups that they bring with them, and they set up those lights in a particular room or a particular spot on the property if you're getting married outdoors. And they shoot all the portraits there, all the couple portraits, all the family portraits, all the wedding party portraits. Everything is shot right there where they've got their perfect lighting situation. Now, they also will usually shoot some candids, but they're just maybe a little more structured and formal than a photojournalist style photographer. They tend to be a little more go with the flow. So you can usually tell by looking at a photographer's portfolio what style of photographer they are, and they will almost certainly tell you on their website. Photographers who shoot photojournalism, they say that because that's their style and they want people to know that. The photographer wants you to find a good match with a photographer just as much as you want to find a good match with a photographer. So it's just easy for you to do a little bit of research and find out which kind of images are interesting to you and what speaks to you. The other thing with photography is it's a major investment, but it's also really important because when your wedding is over, all you have left to remember it by are your memories and your photographs or your video if you have videography. If you watched my earlier video on budgeting and happened to see my budget template, you might remember that I recommend 10% of your budget goes toward photography and videography. So if your overall budget is $30,000, that means you have $3,000 to put toward photography and videography. Now, obviously, you can go, if you find a photographer who's out of your price range, you can book that photographer if you love them and spend a little bit more, but you have to cut somewhere else. So you just want to think about the trade-off. Maybe you can find a cheaper dress than what you have budgeted for. Maybe you want to cut back on floral a little bit to get that photographer. You just want to make sure that you don't go over your overall budget. You can move within categories and as much as you need to go over in one place, but you have to go under in another place to offset it. So next week, I am going to talk about how much time you need from your photographer, how many hours of photography coverage you should schedule for your wedding, because it's actually more than you think. I can assure you that whatever you're thinking, you need more hours than that. So that's what I will talk about next week. If you like this video, go ahead, give it a like down below, And if you want to get future videos, which I release every Wednesday, you can subscribe down below. And if you click the little bell icon, you'll get notifications from YouTube whenever I post a new video. And if you have any questions that you would like me to answer, feel free to leave a comment down below and I will answer your question in a future video. All right, bye for now.